Hello, welcome to Almost Fast Racing. Today we're taking the 1990 BMW shell I bought for $400 that I turned into a race car, and we're taking it to Palmer Motorsports Park in Massachusetts. This will be my first time going to Palmer, so I'm a little bit nervous, and we do have some issues we do have to fix on the car before we head out. The throttle cable is broken. I've been operating it with an electrical cable with my hand. Let's see how this goes. Thanks for watching. So I had my first day at Limerock Park with Track Night in America, and it was a blast. Had a few issues. I came back into the pits, and the car idle wouldn't drop down below like 3,000 or 4,000 RPMs. Turns out that the throttle cable had frayed and snapped inside. So I had to tie a piece of electrical wire to the throttle itself to drive the hour-ish home. So today we're going to replace that throttle cable. As you can see, it's broken, frayed, twisted, bent. It's original to the car. Our new one, a lot better. New plastic sheath, new rubber bushings, new adjustment screw. It's going to be a lot nicer to do a lot of things. So we're going to lube up the rubber grommets, get it installed in our piece there. We do need a new plastic bushing, but I think we have some laying around. Alright, now with this new plastic bushing, our throttle response should be much better, and we don't have a broken throttle cable anymore. And now we can use our foot, and we don't have to use our hand. Although we do still have one more step, we have to attach the throttle cable to the actuator on the gas pedal itself underneath in the car. This is a little tough to do with one hand, but I'll do my best to film it. There we go. All better. I'm using my foot, and the throttle cable opens. We have to do some minor adjustments to make sure it's perfect, but looks good enough. The other problem we had is I don't have a sunroof, giant hole in my roof in my car. The car, when I bought it, had a very rusted out sunroof and rusted around the edge of the sunroof, so we had gently removed the sunroof cassette and all of their corresponding parts, as well as trimmed out a little bit around the sunroof. But because of this, I'm getting pooped on by birds, and some track days don't allow it. So we're going to use some CAD to trace out the size of our hole, and then we're going to trace that onto some sheet metal. I believe it was 16-inch steel. But anyway, we're going to cut that out, and then we're going to round down the edges, and that way we won't cut our fingers on it or anything. Alright, let's get the cardboard out of here and get our new metal roof on the car. Turns out the car roof isn't perfectly flat, so we're going to have to round down the sides and do a little bit of body work to make it blend in smooth with the rest of the body and also not cause any additional air resistance. I'm just going to take some pliers and bend the side. I don't really want to do any fancy tools, and at some point in the future I will be replacing this with a weld-in panel. Alright, so let's test fit that. Alright, that's much better, and as we always say, good enough. So next what we're going to do is we're going to drill out a hole roughly in the center of the panel, so that we can start riveting. Eventually I will weld on the panel, but I do want somebody to weld in a roll cage at some point. So this will be easy to remove in the future, and I am also garbage at welding. So, here we go. Alright, so we'll put that center rivet on so our metal doesn't move all over the place as we drill the rest of our holes. Forever and ever now. And before we drill the rest of our holes so it kind of looks almost presentable and semi-professional, what we're going to do is we're going to take some tape measure, tape it down along the side, and then mark out every 2 inches. And we're going to take a punch, and that way our drill won't wander all over the place as we're trying to cut through this metal, because I don't know how old my drill bits are, and I don't feel like spending a ton of money on new ones. So here we go. With all of our holes drilled, we're going to take and we're going to put rivets all along the side here, and that'll hold this piece of sheet metal in nice and strong, just in case we get into a crash, and just in case we actually manage to break triple-digit speeds. We don't want it flying off on us here. This tool is nice and easy to use, and the rivets are pretty cheap, so big fan. And I can't weld, so this is pretty helpful. All the rivets on the driver's side of the car are done, so now we're going to move over to the passenger side of the car, and hopefully everything's fairly straight, and hopefully everything looks pretty nice. We'll see. Alright, now that we got the rivets all in and the roof fixed, it does stand out like a sore thumb, and it was already starting to rust after leaving it outside for like a week or two. So we're going to do the nice soothing task of painting and taping and cleaning and taping and painting. Let's listen to some birds chirp and tape the car. I probably should have taken the seats out of the car first. It'll be a cool decal speckle on them. Perfect, all done, looks beautiful, shiny, and take all the tape and paper off and it blends right into the bodywork. Can't even tell it's from Home Depot and not matching the BMW white. I've never been to Palmer before, but I have a state-of-the-art sim racing rig at home that I'm going to use to practice before going, because you can download a mod version of a Spec E30, which is what I wish my car was, and you can download a mod of Palmer that's in the game. And after some practice, and I felt comfortable that I wasn't going to crash when I went.
All right, that's good.
We're ready to load up the car and head on out to Massachusetts. All right, Palmer's about 2.5 hours, or just under 2.5 hours from my house, and registrations starts at 7 a.m. So we left pretty early because I don't want to be late, because I'm still pretty new to this. This is my first time doing any track driving or anything with EMRA.
That's the track down by the white wall. It's over there, up to that telephone pole that snakes back around. Back up this way.
I was really glad I used a simulator before going to Palmer and watched a lot of YouTube videos, because it is a windy, twisty track. When I first got the registration, it was super foggy, but before I was even time for getting in the classroom, it got nice and sunny out. So I was registered as a novice, so we had, before we even started the day, we had a classroom session, and then we also had an instructor sit with us for our first lap around, and we had classroom sessions before every track session for the day. Did get some time in between all of that to watch some of the other cars race around the track, which is a ton of fun as well. Alright, and finally it's my turn for my first lap around Palmer Motorsports Park in Massachusetts, with my instructor riding shotgun and throwing a few comments here and there. One, about how to drive the track, and two, about how it's kind of funny about all my little quirks in a shitbox car. So, enjoy, and turn the volume up.
That's the best of ground. It works, but you have to know where the actual lines are. Okay. This makes the biggest difference, knowing where that going wide, yeah. Yeah. It feels a lot more safer when you're in the bowl. Yeah, otherwise you're pushing way out. Yep. The thing for that corner is I think your car has a lot of body roll. Yeah. I think you need to lift a little bit. Okay. I think that's what'll help. Okay. Stiffer springs. They're built-in sports. Okay. They had them on my convertible. Yeah, because I was like, it's not terrible, but the body rolls a lot. Yeah. It moves a lot. This turn's the one that always gets me. I always come in with. I go way late. I mean, I almost hit those tires. Oh, really? That's how late I go. Yeah.
There we go. Lap around Palmer Motorsports Park without anything breaking down. Time to eat lunch, and then after lunch I got the approval to go out on my own, no instructor in the car, on the track. So here's a couple clips, highlights, and a full lap from that as well, because I actually managed to pass a few people, which is kind of cool in my little tiny car. So enjoy. that's that. That was my track day at Palmer. At the very end, we walked the track after the track was cold. It was beautiful, gorgeous views. We kind of couldn't admire while we were driving around at 80 to 100 miles an hour. And this is a windy, twisty one. And now it's time to head home. Thanks for watching. I appreciate it. And thanks for watching Almost Fast Racing.